As one of the most high-profile legal battles in the music industry begins, tensions are already rising. Things are heating up fast, especially after singer Al-B Sure made some explosive claims in a recent interview. His words could turn this case upside down.
And we have more breaking news. A jury has finally been selected and opening statements are getting started in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Prosecutors are expected to paint Combs as the head of a criminal organization who exploited his fame and fortune to sexually abuse women and men.
Our next guest was a New Jack Swing superstar in the 80s. Now, Al-B Sure is using his second chance at life to fight for health equity.
After surviving a coma and liver transplant, he's an advocate pushing for real healthcare change. He's also exposing shocking truths about the music industry and recording artist Diddy in his upcoming tell-all, Do You Believe Me Now?
He revealed that he's planning to testify against Sean Diddy Combs and openly accused Diddy of being involved in Kim Porter's death. He even suggested that Diddy may have tried to harm him too. For years, many people have been waiting to see Diddy held accountable. With his fame and influence, he seemed untouchable, especially in the 2000s and early 2010s. Back then, he was a giant in the music business and was often rumored to be a bully behind closed doors.
Yeah,
because you just collapsed, right?
Yeah, so, just mysteriously out of the blue, which we do talk about in the book.
Yes,
what that,
I want to get into that.
What that process is. But, so it's been quite a journey. And as I said, even as it relates to writing the book, I went through almost, more than a decade of being scrutinized and clowned by law enforcement, them telling me, you need some help. Really? What's wrong with you? No way. But not realizing that they were also working for the situation.
Because you were hinting, saying,
posting. Yeah. I get calls, take it down, or else, so on and so forth.
But this is about Diddy, so let's be clear for everybody that doesn't know.
Diddy, who's about to, his trial's about to start. Yeah, yes. They're selecting a jury.
But you were on this train years ago.
Yes, many, many years ago. I posted some information that was, basically trying to save my life. And thank goodness to my ex, the wonderful Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, who, kind of warned me all along the way to, just kind of watch your back, so on and so forth. And I didn't understand why.
Because of Diddy?
Basically.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health. We just saw each other prior to her passing. We were actually celebrating our son's new Netflix Christmas special, and she was doing just fine. In fact, we were all at the event together at Netflix in the lobby. Sean, myself, the children, all having a great time, and I'm, grabbing Sean like, what? And she's in the back going, stop, So it was a really festive opportunity just for all of us to be together, because it's nothing like the circus that's out here. So it was a lot of the stuff, came to surprise, but a lot of the stuff will be revealed and that's why I thought it would be a good idea to finally tell my story. Every network came to me, participate and so on, but I said, listen, I have no interest in speaking about another man.
But you are in the book.
Yeah, right. But this, I will speak about where our paths cross and what's most relevant. It's something I've been trying to say for many, many years. And unfortunately, Roseanne, even with Sean being incarcerated, that's not a celebration. There's no celebration in it. First and foremost, there's way too much collateral damage, and in many, many ways. Many people's lives are affected, and in fact, a genre of music that I grew up in is ruined right now.
Al-B Sure was one of the people who experienced that side of him firsthand. Their history goes back decades. In the early 1990s, Al-B Sure was in a relationship with Kim Porter.
Him and Al never been the best of friends. He had motherfuckers think that he had adopted Quincy, and he never did. Al was never out of his son's life. I knew Al way back in Mount Vernon. He used to wear leather pants and 100 degrees. fucking with Al. I knew it way back then, though, man. Al a good dude. A good dude. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So if Al got something to say about that's happening to him and Puff has something to do with, trust and believe he gonna have evidence to substantiate that Puff did that shit. Either he gave him something or sent something his way.
But what was the beef between Albert Shore and Diddy? Like, why wasn't they on good terms?
The nigga was dating Kim. You understand? That's his kid's mother. And they was cool, they was friends. Misa and Kim was cool. They was all in that Uptown family, Uptown Record family. How you gonna date the mother of you my man, you cool, we all be around each other, and you dating the mother of my son? Alan never go try to date Misa. You know what I mean?
The couple had a son together, Quincy. However, after their relationship ended, Kim started seeing Diddy around 1994. According to Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, Diddy didn't just start dating Kim, he essentially took her from Al. Eventually, Diddy adopted Quincy and raised him as his own son.
A lot of things happened to Kim that she never explained to her father. So to see that girl take that beating like that, her father probably thought within himself, that's some of the things that happened to my daughter. And it had to be sickening to him, knowing that his daughter probably went through the same shit that Cassie went through.
Yeah, he made a comment saying that he was disgusted when he seen that video. He even said that he wouldn't even do a dog like that, the way Diddy did Cassie.
Yeah. His heart would go out to Cassie because he's looking at the fact that his daughter's not here to even raise her own damn kids, man. His daughter's not here and to see, because I got daughters myself, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I give my heartbeat, both my arms. And just to imagine and think that somebody was doing that to your daughter, bro. I know Kim got tired. That's why she took that corkscrew and ripped his damn arm out. Tried to rip his arm off for putting his hands on him. I know she was tired. Them pillow fights and that smothering her with the pillows and all that, like he playing with her. I know she was tired.
Yeah, he also told Rolling Stone that Diddy, he's a jealous person that don't know what love is.
He knows that, bro. Kim couldn't have nobody, bro. Kim couldn't have nobody. You understand what I'm saying, bro? Diddy could do whatever, Puff could do whatever he wanted to do, Brother Love could do whoever he wanted to be. If Kim ever tried to get with somebody, Puff would interfere with them or with her trying to be with them.
Kim and Diddy continued to have an on and off relationship until 2007. Later on, Diddy admitted they broke up because he cheated, but people close to the situation say there was a lot more going on behind the scenes. Gene Deal claimed that Diddy was physically abusive toward Kim and other women in his life, including singer Cassie. He even recalled a disturbing incident on Sunset Boulevard. According to him, Diddy was rough with Kim inside a car, and when she got out, she pretended like nothing had happened. However, she warned him that if he ever touched her again, she would make sure everyone knew. This wasn't an isolated incident. It seemed to be part of a larger pattern of abusive behavior. What Cassie eventually revealed in her lawsuit years later mirrored what Kim had already been through.
You seen how Albie Shore, he came out saying that Kim Porter death needs to be looked into?
I think that Al being being his ex-wife, he have every right, knowing about the stuff that came out about Diddy and what he was doing. You understand what he has done in the past, and people have overlooked it. By him coming out and saying that he hoped that he could get her case reopened. There was a guy called John the Paperwork Party. They would put in an open petition to get Kim's case reopened. You understand what I'm saying? So I'll be sure doing this is showing that, you know, he still got love for Quincy's mother. He still want to find out the truth because allegedly Kim was fine the day before and the day of her death. And then now she found in the bed dead from pneumonia. That just don't sound right, bro. That don't sound right at all.
So you feel the same way about her death being suspect?
I don't think nobody in America think it's nothing suspicious about Kim's death, bro. If you are rich like that, you could, you know, Kim had, I think a net worth of like, what, 12 million a year or something like that? Kim could have called any doctor to come over and look at her. If she was that bad, you know, she could have called an ambulance or something like that. Everything is suspicious about her death, bruh.
Shore said he didn't initially have a problem with Diddy, but that changed when Kim told him she was scared. She confided in him that she feared for her safety and believed Diddy might hurt her. Then, in 2018, Kim suddenly passed away. She had been suffering from flu-like symptoms, and her death was officially ruled as pneumonia. Diddy spoke publicly about how heartbroken he was, claiming he still loved her deeply, even though they weren't together anymore. But Shore wasn't convinced. He believed Diddy was faking his grief and might have even had something to do with Kim's death.
Diddy was terrified of Kim Porter's book. Just like Jay-Z was afraid of Kathy White's interview. It's funny how things that they're afraid of disappear.
Who do you think is next on the chopping block? Because I believe there's a chopping block and there might be...
Oh, there is. Sean Carter. They're trying to avoid him. I'm going to make sure they can't. I have a total of 9 witnesses that are about to start coming forward. I'm going to walk them one by one. But the things that these people have to tell and the video evidence and the recordings that they had.
Wow.
It's worse than Diddy. A lot of psychological operations being ran on employees, former girlfriends, mothers of secret children, interns that refused to sign non-disclosure agreements. Their lives were literally blown to smithereens. I was lucky to survive him. If you really look at their careers, it's just a trail of bodies that they've been stacking up and standing on.
All began speaking out just weeks after Kim died. He called for a full investigation, but at the time, most people dismissed him. Some accused him of being bitter or just grieving. Others mocked him online. Still, Al didn't back down. He kept insisting that Kim had warned him something bad was going to happen. According to Al, Kim had even started writing a book that would expose everything about Diddy, including things the public had never heard before. Al claimed that Kim showed him parts of this book before her death. He said she had put everything in writing, hoping to one day reveal the truth. After her passing, he believed someone stole her phone and computer to keep that book from ever being released. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, also confirmed this version of events nearly a year ago.
He was telling me before this interview that Dallas Austin, his daughter, was at her house the day she died.
Yo, I heard that the paperclip party broke that story because it was told to them by Kim's Porter father that is in the police report. That this is in the police report, that Dallas Austin's daughter, who was a friend of Kim's, left her house at 8 o'clock. That Kim had made a call, 911 call at 2:15 that morning. And I don't know what happened in the 911 call or what was said, but they said that Dallas Austin's daughter, according to Kim's father, was the woman that left her house at 8:15. So she was the last person, according to her, to see Kim alive. And that was broken by the paperclip party because they had a conversation with Kim's Porter father. That's crazy. Now, what was Kim's state? Why did, and in the report, didn't it say she had blood on the pillow and bruises or something like that? The case needs to be reopened, man. The case really needs to be reopened. Because if that girl was there and she said that Kim was all right, what happened from 8 to 11? And why did all Kim's stuff come up missing?
I ain't know any of that, man. I never heard of that. So when they found her, she had bruises and a lot of her stuff was missing?
Bro, it's a lot of suspect things going on. First and foremost, in our day and time, other than our house key, a woman gonna keep her phone and you know, she got a lot of different purses, but everybody always grab their phone. Why come right till today, right now, nobody knows what Kim Porter phone is? And they know they had iPhone. Why have nobody went to the cloud and got the text messages and the things off her phone? Because everything that came in that phone is text, and you know your iPhone find my phone. Nobody tried to find the phone?
He backed up Al's claims about Kim's fears and the missing evidence. Now, with Diddy facing serious legal troubles and multiple lawsuits, Al B. Sure is once again speaking out. This time, he's being taken much more seriously. He posted online saying that he had tried to warn people for years. He claimed he had reached out to the police, shared everything Kim told him, and even tried to protect others. He believes the missing phone and laptop contain key evidence that could expose Diddy and possibly others.
Diddy for that?
I'm blaming this entire industry and the way it's gone. And, you know, there's no one person that's in charge, but this level and this magnitude of a story, of detriment, of diabolical, you know, just heinous, you know, whatever's really going on, it's unfortunate.
Is Diddy suing you or threatening to sue you?
No.
No?
I have the truth.
But one thing is, you have volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Not as of yet. Actually, I was subpoenaed.
Okay.
So my attorneys worked something out. So I believe when the time is right, you know, I'm going to discuss it with my attorneys.
Mm-hmm. But you're willing to?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I am. You know, and again, there's no, like I said, this is not marketing for me. I'm living this life. And
So
the only
yes.
reason I wanted to tell the story, Kurt, was very specifically because I was ignored. There was the most expensive PR campaign against me to shut me down. If you actually knew what they did to me, there was a bounty on my head. There was a bunch of stuff.
So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
My first time saying it.
Are you concerned that he still has power outside of incarceration?
Remember, I'm the only one who spoke up, and I'm the only one left alive. So this is not about a scared thing, you know. It's just time to reveal the truth. I mean, it is what it is.
One of the biggest questions is, what happened to Kim Porter's missing devices? Some sources say those items were supposed to be part of the official case evidence. If they're ever recovered, they might finally reveal the full story, including what Kim was planning to share before she died.
You gotta realize, man, Kim's death wasn't even investigated, bro. Her death wasn't even investigated. And it should have been a proper investigation so all the family members can feel like that there was no foul play in her death. How is it that you know how we are as a people? I don't believe that 10% of your viewers that's watching this don't keep their phone when they go to sleep in arm reach. How is it that there was no electronic products or gadgets around Kim's bed? Her laptop missing, her cell phone's missing. Everything is missing that she could get in touch with her little girls if they not at home or her friends or family. All that's missing. How is it that, and this is her say, that the detectives did not even view the body in the bed where she died at? That the coroner had already removed her, pronounced her dead, and told the detectives that it was no foul play. And if that is true, as I've heard it, and we read certain things on the internet about it, that case needs to be reopened. We know that Kim, and it's in the this is in the documentation. Shout out to paperwork, at the paperwork part. I gotta shout him out, man, because he looked in the paperwork and it said Kim received a massage for about an hour when she's supposed to have full-blown pneumonia. Who gives somebody a massage when they got pneumonia? Al ain't no fool, bro. Al is not a fool, and he's smart by getting extra security. I don't blame him at all. If I wasn't retired, I'd probably be working for him.
Things get even more intense when you consider that some believe Kim's death is not the only suspicious one linked to people in the music industry. There's a theory that she, like Cassie, was ready to go public with dark secrets, and that's why she was silenced. Now, that Diddy is facing real legal action, people are looking at LB Sure's past statements in a new light.
Do you feel because you're not supposed to be here, that gives you the freedom to talk now? Because you survived?
Yes, I believe so. I believe so. Listen, my faith serves me so well. You know, I'm in prayer every single day, multiple times a day, just saying, you know, just let's get this right. And when you think about it, for me, I don't even wish him harm. I don't wish him, you know, I don't want to be here. I would love for us to all be, you know, riding in the sunset. We sold millions of records. We've affected the culture. We celebrated our genre of music that we came from, hip hop. You know, this is supposed to be a celebration. This shouldn't be a national court case. So there's no anger with me. I don't produce anger, jealousy. That just doesn't come from me.
In a recent interview with Fox News, Al said clearly that he believes Diddy is responsible for Kim's death. He explained how he's been trying to share this story for years, but was constantly shut down. According to Al, there was even an organized effort to destroy his reputation and make him look mentally unstable. He even claimed that there was a bounty placed on his head to keep him quiet. Although he hasn't officially volunteered to testify, Al says he's been subpoenaed, which means he may be legally required to speak in court. He says he's ready and insists this isn't about fame or attention.
And those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if
Appeared
they
to be.
were. Right.
Sure.
Appeared to
Let
be.
me rephrase
right.
it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appeared to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were, all 8 were victimized.
Yeah.
Meaning
Victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3, possibly 3.
Burgess went on Banfield on News Nation, and he revealed that he was given 11 flash drives that contain alleged sex tapes involving Combs and celebrities. And he said, of the 8 celebrities on the tapes, those who are victims of Sean Combs, they're not perpetrators, victims, he said 2 or 3 were minors, which, as you know, is consistent with a number of allegations in the civil lawsuits that Sean Combs is currently facing. To be clear, though, Combs is currently not criminally charged with anything with respect to minors. That could change, but right now, he's just charged with trafficking, racketeering, transportation to engage in prostitution, but all with respect to adult victims. If there's a superseding indictment, he gets hit with new charges, possibly about victims, we shall see. But this is what brings me to what we're talking about right now. So, Mr. Burgess has claimed that he got these flash drives from the late girlfriend of Sean Combs, Kim Porter, who, as we know, tragically died several years back from what authorities concluded was lobar pneumonia. And that is despite the fact that there have been rumors, both online and in the media, that there is something more to her death. And that, to be clear, totally unsubstantiated. That has been debunked. We've talked about it here on Sidebar multiple times. But putting that to the side, here is the other thing with Mr. Burgess. He apparently says he owns the rights to a book that was reportedly based on the alleged memoir of Kim Porter. In fact, according to TMZ, Burgess' phone was seized by the feds, and on it was a copy of a flash drive with material that was used.
For him, it's about telling the truth and making sure Kim's voice is heard. All believes Diddy still holds a lot of power, even from behind bars. When asked if he was afraid, Al simply said no. He believes he's survived this long for a reason.